President-elect Donald Trump has been sentenced now in his New York criminal case. Trump appeared in court virtually from Mar-a-Lago. Justice Juan Merchan gave the president-elect a sentence of, quote, unconditional discharge. Now, that means that Trump will not serve jail time or have any other restrictions ahead of his inauguration in just 10 days. You'll recall a jury found him guilty of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records back in May. The president-elect spoke at his sentencing today.
It's been a political witch hunt. It was done to damage my reputation so that I'd lose the election, and obviously that didn't work.
CBS News political reporters Katrina Kaufman and Aaron Navarro join us now. So, Katrina, I'm going to start with you here with me in the studio. You were in the room when Trump was sentenced. What was the mood like? What can you tell us?
I mean, it was just so unusual to have Trump be up there on the screen with his lawyer, Todd Blanche. The judge was watching him on the monitor, and really there wasn't a lot of emotion shown in that courtroom. It was full of reporters, a few members of the public, the sketch artists, but what was really remarkable were Trump's words. And it was just so unusual for a criminal defendant to speak that way before a judge at his own sentencing, to show no remorse, no contrition. It really shows the power that Trump feels he has now that he has been reelected into office, and also with the knowledge that the judge was going to give him this unconditional discharge.
And he intends to appeal additionally. So, Aaron, what do you make of the way that Trump talked about this case?
Lana, good to be with you. He's shown that he's been consistently aggrieved by this case. Even last night when he was speaking to Republican governors in Mar-a-Lago, and he referenced to today's sentencing as prosecutors, quote, having fun with their political opponent. He also called the case and the judge, quote, a disgrace. And he continued to maintain that he did nothing wrong in what he said in court. And as Katrina mentioned, you can sense that he feels vindicated by the 2024 election, and wrote in a Truth Social post after the sentencing, quote, the real jury, the American people have spoken by re-electing me. I do think it's notable that while he has bemoaned this case, it said it is a, quote, terrible experience, he is looking to appeal, potentially overturn that conviction. So this may not be the last development we have in this case.
And Katrina, talk to us about why the judge decided on this sentence in particular. And other people have described it as a slap on the wrist, but it's still a felony, and that carries lifelong repercussions for people.
I do think that there is significant weight to this. It's why Trump tried so hard to prevent this day from happening. He is now finally a full convicted felon now that the sentence has been proclaimed, even if there are no terms to his release or to this judgment. But the judge really talked about the extraordinary circumstances here. The fact that Trump has now been reelected into office just allows him what the judge called extraordinary protections. But he also was very careful to say that those are protections allowed for the office, not the occupant, which, you know, felt like a little bit of a statement at Trump. But he said, given that, he really just felt that there was no choice but for the conviction to be that he is sentenced with an unconditional discharge, because once Trump is in office, he couldn't put any parameters on him to give him imprisonment, probation. You know, perhaps back in July, we might have seen something like community service. But when Trump is leading the United States, a judge just can't put that sentence on him. And I think it also made it so the Supreme Court allowed this to move forward, too, because they pointed out that the judge was giving him these really lenient terms.
And Aaron, how much overlap is there between Trump's legal team in this case and who he's been picking for the administration?
Yeah, it's a significant amount of his personal lawyers who will be involved in the upcoming administration. One big one, Pam Bondi, who was part of the legal counsel in Trump's first impeachment trial, is Trump's pick for Attorney General. Todd Blanche, who represented Trump in this case in Manhattan, was his pick for Deputy Attorney General. And Lena Habba, who represented Trump in this case against E. Jean Carroll, will be White House counselor. That's the role that Kellyanne Conway held during his first term. So a good amount of his personal counsel will be involved in the upcoming White House.
All right, Katrina Kaufman, Aaron Navarro, thank you both. Well, we are going to continue to follow this story for you throughout the day, and that includes updates and analysis on America Decides and the Daily Report, which you can now catch on Fridays. America Decides is on at 5 p.m. Eastern, and the Daily Report starts at 6 Eastern.